Hey guys, your confidence coach Trish Blackwell here. Let's talk about how to stop doubting yourself. It's time to stop playing small, stop tiptoeing, stop turning down opportunity, and trust who God made you to be with power, with courage, and with confidence all in. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the one thing that can change everything for your self-doubt today. Let's dive into it. Okay, so here it is. I'm gonna cut right to the chase. The best way to stop self-doubting is to outthink your self-doubt, because doubt is derived in a thought. It's a thought process that you're having. It's not necessarily reality. It's your interpretation of the circumstances that are happening. And though we don't have control over circumstance, we do have control over how we think about what has happened in our past and about what is possible in our future. And so I want you to step into the self-concept that you are a good thinker. Now, the tricky thing about self-doubt is it makes you go back and forth thinking, well, I sometimes feel confident and sometimes I don't, and I know I can do this, and you spiral, and that really deepens the self-doubt. It increases how much you're experiencing. So I want you to stop thinking about yourself like a positive thinker, or you try to be a positive person. I don't want you to try to do anything. I want you to be something. I want you to be a powerful thinker and step into this concept of powerful thinking. And that starts with just saying, my name is Trish Blackwell, and I'm a good thinker. Now, I don't need you to believe that you're a good thinker yet. I just need you to proclaim it over yourself. I am a good thinker. Now, there's 5 ways you can become a good thinker, and I'm gonna run through these for you. Number 1, to become good at thinking, you need to be also good at feeling. So I need you to sit with what you're feeling. If you're doubting yourself, you're probably feeling something that's saying it's not safe to do this, that there's a risk. So I want you to think about that actual feeling and be with it. I want you to write down. Number 2, write down what you're feeling. There's so much power that comes when we take pen to paper and really write it out. Number 3, I want you to trace what you're feeling back to an original thought. What is the thought that drove that feeling? You might be feeling insecure, feeling self-doubt. Well, what is the thought that got you there? Was it scrolling and comparing your body or your life or your car or your happiness in a photo or your hair to somebody else's? Or was it the feeling that you were behind, or that the last time you tried something you felt discouraged that it didn't go the way you wanted? And instead of dwelling there, we can choose to think on a different feeling. Think about your identity and who you are. Because who you are is who you can step into. And if you see yourself as somebody who is powerful, someone who is resilient, someone who is committed to staying the course, whatever that course looks like, but you won't give up and you won't be discouraged. You're just going to continue to show up. That is who you are. And so when you realize that, then you have nothing to fear. You don't have to have self-doubt, because if you release the need to be perfect, then you don't need to feel the pressure of performance. We put a lot of doubt comes into our mind when we think we have to appear like we have it all figured out. You, my friend, are human. We get to be human. We don't have to be robots or machines or perfect. So be yourself. Make an effort. Fail. Be okay with that and keep going. You're human, so you don't need to do everything exactly right. You don't need to be ready before you start. Just start, and that will build your confidence. And as you do, the self-doubt will start dissipating. And now you can see why thinking about how you think about yourself really determines your level of self-confidence or self-doubt. Number 4, when you think about your feelings and what's making you feel that you're filled with doubt, what is the thought option? What are the thoughts you could choose? You could choose to think one thought that's going to keep you there, or another thought that's going to exit you from there. And I need you to take the time with pen and paper to go, how do I get out of here? I'm second guessing myself or doubting myself. Okay, what's a thought that would take me further through this in a more powerful way? And then finally, pick the thought of those 2 that you want to hold on to. We have the power of our thoughts. We get to choose. So are you choosing? Or are you allowing your feelings to choose your thoughts for you? Isn't that amazing? We get to choose our own thoughts. You are not victim to your feelings. And by the way, you're also not fully responsible for that first thought. That first thought comes in, that self-doubt, does not mean you need to beat yourself up. But you are responsible to take ownership of the thought that you want to stay in your brain. So thoughts are going to come and go and come and go. Let the thought in. You're not responsible for it coming through, but you are responsible for ushering it out if it's not where you want to stay. I spent too many years beating myself up for the thoughts that I was having. I shouldn't be having that thought. Well, I need to look at my thoughts neutrally, without judgment, without criticism, because then they're not burdened with emotion and I'm better able to push them out, to assess them neutrally and say, yes, you get to stay. No, you need to go. So don't judge yourself on your thoughts, just decide which ones stay and which ones go. And if you have been struggling with second guessing yourself, I have an amazing podcast episode. I'm gonna link it above and link it below in the comments. It's called Never Second Guess Yourself Again. It is episode 426 of my podcast show, The Confidence Podcast, that has over 3 million downloads. You should check it out. Let me know when you do. Comment below. And just to close out, I wanna remind you of a couple things. One, remember that having self-doubt is normal. It will always exist. Your self-doubt will always exist. It's part of being human. It's part of not having a perfect view of all things. The more comfortable you can get with the feeling of self-doubt, not being a defining feeling, just being a feeling that you feel. Some feelings we feel are neutral, some are positive, some are negative. It's just a feeling. It doesn't have to define your destiny. The more that you just allow it to be a feeling, then the more competently you'll be able to turn down the volume of it and just go, okay, well, I don't have to listen to that or think on that. I'm gonna think more better thoughts to move forward. There's always gonna be that back and forth ping pong of your mind. And you'll hear more about that in that podcast episode. So do check that out. I'm gonna walk you through how to get out of the mind drama. Again, that's episode 426 of the Confidence Podcast, we can get anywhere you listen to podcasts. But here's what I want you to do today. Go check out that podcast and then comment below. Are you ready to trust yourself? Are you ready to start committing to your decisions? Because you know what commitment is, this discipline is, it's just the decision to do what you said you were gonna do because you remember that your word matters, that it matters. So if so, I want you to post a proclamation below. I want you to comment below and say, I am a good thinker and I trust my decisions. It's okay that I feel like self-doubt, I feel uncertain, but I trust my gut and I'm gonna step forward and walk in confidence. Make sure you hit subscribe. See you on the podcast and I'll see you here on my channel for our next video.